216-578-1007. Want to join us? Or 800-348-1007. 35192. You shoot me a text for anything. Listen live on iHeartRadio, wherever you are, and you can watch live at AlanCoxShow.com. Dr. Ryan Berglund is going to return to the show on Friday for the first installment of Is It Red in 2020. We haven't seen him since he made an appearance at the Alan Cox Show 10th anniversary special, and that was a full 2 months ago. So he'll be back in on Friday as a urologist from the Cleveland Clinic, if you're new to this show. And he has joined me for many years. A few times a year, he comes in, answers some questions that you guys have about some weird stuff going on down there. And he tries to offer his advice as best he can. He has saved lives. According to some callers who have called in, he has gotten us all hip to some conditions we were entirely unfamiliar with. I know nothing about no pearly penile papules, Bill.
I do
until
now.
Dr. Berglund came in.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
Get up with it.
He was the first one to tell us, don't use industrial cleanser on your genital warts.
Bleach does not cure genital warts.
Now, on the one hand, you go, Alan, I could have figured that out. Yeah, but it's nice to hear it. Sometimes...
What if you put the bleach on a Q-tip?
Nope.
And then just dab it?
Nope.
No?
Sometimes things don't become real until they're said out loud. And so Dr. Berglund will be here on Friday. So if you are a podcast listener, can't listen live, but have a question, you can email me early, and otherwise we'll take your calls and your texts and all that stuff on Friday. Were you still breaking his balls in the break, by the way?
I was not breaking his
Trying to
balls.
relate.
He brought it up.
Okay.
He said, you want to know something else? And I was like, what? And he goes,
Oh, he was trying to stick it to you.
I like that it bothers
I didn't
her.
even do projects. Like just little things.
Yeah.
Like what I said was that
If I had a project, I wouldn't do it, and then I got out of having to do it because I never would do it.
right.
He knew that the system would just want to get him through. Mm-hmm. And so he played that. He played them.
Well, I
he
said
beat them at their own game.
if I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it well. I don't like to do things and not succeed at them. So it's one
That's
of those
how
things
I am.
where I'm like,
That's how you are.
if I'm going
It's
to be
not how
here
everybody
and I
is.
have to do this, I'm going to give it my all. I'm going to do the best I can. I was relating it. I said a friend of ours put together a pilot and had auditions. And I was like, I have auditioned for things as an actress before, not got it. So I assume I'm not good at it. So I just brush that off. It's like, I'm not going to do this because I know I'm not good at it. Like
You're
if
not
I'm not
good
going to
enough.
be, if I'm not going to be, I don't like the word the best, but if I'm not going to be like top tier of it, I don't want to do it.
Well,
Is that a weird thing?
Well, how early do you give up? You don't want to give up. I mean, nobody starts off being awesome at anything.
No, but you got to have a little bit of promise,
But
right?
you also have to have the desire to want to do it. Like I had no
Right.
desire to act. So like that same person asked me to be in it, and I was like,
Well, plus,
it's not for me.
but honestly, how often would you get to work on that craft?
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying
You
is that
don't,
I've auditioned
so.
a couple times, never gotten a role, so I just kind of was like, oh, this isn't for me. I'm clearly not good at this, so it's not something I'm going to pursue.
Well, you don't know that though.
But I didn't get any roles. I guess there are specific roles.
you're
and
not
it's all
somebody who-
different, and I'm not an actress.
Right.
But it takes a lot of attempts to get a role.
Yeah.
And but again, that's not something you're focused on. So that's like why
It's
focus
a
on
very
it.
horrible way to look at things where it's like if I'm initially good at something or at least there's like a little glimmer of hope or whatever, I'm more likely to pursue it harder than if I try something, I'm terrible at it, I'm cool with not doing that again.
But what I'm saying is you didn't apply that to... None of us apply that to stand-up, because when you start stand-up, you suck for a full 2
But
years.
you don't know
I mean,
that you suck. It's
You
like,
know pretty quick.
No, because if you go up and there's people at least kind of laughing, there's enough delusion that you're going to keep going.
I see what you
If
mean.
you get a reaction in stand-up, like we
Yeah.
were saying, regardless of if you pad the room with all your friends, if your friends are laughing, you're like, oh, I'm good at this. Or if you make 2 people laugh, like there's enough delusion in it that you can keep going.
Yeah, but you had to have had 1 or 2 people go after your audition go, okay, good. We'll get back to you.
It was always a will get back. It was never a like,
Great,
Well,
you
that's
killed it.
Yeah.
Breadcrumbing.
But
Yeah, but
as
that's
far
what
as
I'm
like stand up goes, the first time I did stand up, like I knew that I didn't kill, but I knew that I could be good at it.
There was something
so
there.
like I like the way I felt doing it, I'm like, okay, obviously I'm not good at this yet, but I can be better.
I'm trying to
And
think
I'm
of
gonna keep
something
working at it.
that I like tried and was horrible at and then just never did again.
Lacrosse.
Probably basketball. Tried out for basketball. in 7th grade. Not my sport. I could not get the dribble down. I tried to do a layup with the opposite leg, opposite arm. Like everything they tried to teach me throughout like the week of camps, that would just not stick with me. And so that was one thing that I was like, clearly this isn't for me. I'm not
very good at
this.
basketball, but I was too short. So I was like, there's no reason to keep pursuing this because I'm not going to just my size
Like,
alone.
physically. Well, there's like point guards and stuff that were short at my school.
I was a little kid playing with people that had full-grown bodies. Like when you're in
Yeah.
high school and you're 5 foot tall and you look like a 10-year-old.
Yeah, that's
like
true.
I'm not going to go out there. Like I saw that.
and then
I'm
there's
like,
6'4" grown men.
And I'm like, I'm not going to keep pursuing this because it's just not fair.
Right.
Like my body is not made.
Tell that to
do
Spud
this.
Webb, Bill.
Yeah, but he
Tell that to
But he had athletic ability.
Bugsy Mogs.
Muggsy Bogues.
Bugsy Mogs.
See, those guys had
Bugsy
athletic ability.
Mogs.
I had coordination. That's all I had.
Yeah.
I wasn't fast. Couldn't jump high. I wasn't like I would try hard, but no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't make up for my effort. Didn't make up for the physical attributes that I lacked.
The thing that I was in track from 7th grade until 10th grade, and I was awful. I came in last place every time, and I hated it.
I know
and
everybody knows that. Everybody talks about it all the time.
They probably do. I would
They're
trip
like,
over. I did
"Mary's
hurdles.
so
I
bad."
was 5'2", 5 foot tall doing hurdles. I would fall over the hurdles. I came in last place. I was really, really bad at it. But it's one of those things where I needed something to do in the spring to keep me active because I cheered in fall and winter, and I didn't have anything going on in the spring. So I stuck with that until 10th grade, and then I was like, man, I suck at this. I'm not having any fun.
That was the only
And
thing available to you in the spring?
I didn't
Jumping
play
hurdles?
softball.
There was always sniffing coke, but she didn't.
What
do
about
that.
soccer?
Soccer's a fall
Sniff
sport.
it, you snort it.
Oh, yeah.
You could
It
sniff
was like you could play softball or you could
You're
play
not getting it up
track.
into the membranes to absorb it. Sniffing is like
they were
you
high
gotta-
school students. They didn't know properly how to do it. They were
I'm
like,
not doing
High school
cocaine.
students usually know how to do anything properly as far as drugs or substances go.
Give it a little sniff. A little
Sure.
Sniff of cocaine.
Or you just pop it up the booty hole, Bill.
Yeah,
There you
Right?
go.
Go right into the
yeah. As long as it
membranes.
absorbs.
Hey, Major.
Hey, what's going on?
How are you?
Good. Yourself?
Boy, a guy named Major, you better have killed it in most areas of life.
or be
I'm doing
packing.
okay so far. I'm young.
All right. So
Well,
more of a minor.
Bill Squire, man, I relate hard with your high school experience. I
Sexy.
didn't.
Bill, you got this guy hard.
Oh, yeah.
Except by just
man,
touching it.
I'm just going off right now, man. Woo!
When you grab it, you'll feel how firm it is.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah, all right,
Yeah.
go ahead, Major.
So, yeah, no, I didn't care. I didn't want to care. I had hobbies. I mean, I'm a tech guy and music guy, so that's what I cared about in high school. I didn't do anything during school. I skipped classes to go to the band room. Didn't do any work. Probably didn't do a homework assignment my last 5 years. Still
Yeah.
made it through. Got a 17 on my ACT. It all looked ugly. And I'm doing all right.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, there are people that are like, you know, they're either
But if
yeah,
someone
they make it work, you know.
And if someone had noticed that you did have interest, and they're like, "Oh, this guy's really interested in music and tech," we should put him into courses that are going to appeal to his actual interest. You probably would have killed it, and you probably would have learned a lot, and it would have been such a tremendous waste of time.
They would have said, Major's
Yeah.
clearly into music and tech. Build us a robot saxophone.
But there were that's what I think that extracurriculars and things like
I
that
couldn't
were for.
qualify for extracurriculars because you had to do
So
all
whose
the other
fault
stuff.
is that?
But it didn't matter to me. Like I wasn't going to play by their rules.
So my point is if like, if you want to learn in a different way and you want to be inspired by different things, you have to meet A, B, and C. So
Right.
you could have been more inspired in school, but you gave a big middle finger and was like, screw
because
this, I'm
because
not
going
doing
to do it their way.
He wasn't even into the curriculum. How's
Yeah.
he going to be into the
But I'm saying
extracurricular
that there's
activities?
things
all that stuff-
offered.
all
There
that-
was like a graphic design club in my high school that like for
Well,
kids.
we didn't have anything like that.
But what
Very
I'm saying
graphic.
is like
they were
for
cursing all the time.
one of our art teachers was into like movie set stuff, like gory, and he did a bunch of stuff with kids who were like that. Like they weren't great at all aspects of school, but they really, really liked art. So they had like this extracurricular program where you could go do that after school.
Yeah.
But yeah, you did have to have certain grades to do it. So to me, it's like if you want to get into this thing, just suck it up, quit being a baby, and do it.
It's not being a baby.
You're
it's
being
not,
stubborn.
No,
Bill,
because
when did you-
I went and learned the stuff that I wanted to learn on my own.
Bill, when did you graduate high school?
Fall of 2000.
2000. He has
Fall.
been out of he That's all right.
In the fall, October.
It's all right. He took an extra semester to not do anything.
And then my mom did it, and I got the diploma.
So he has been out of high school now.
For 20 years.
For 20 years.
Yeah, I know.
And you are still crawling up his ass.
I'm grilling him. I know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And
This is
But, like-
absolutely ridiculous.
it literally doesn't matter.
The things that I was interested in, I did on my own. So getting out of there, like I liked music and being funny and videos. So I learned how to edit video on my own at my house.
Yeah.
Like I learned how to do that by myself. Like just staying up all night. Like I worked on videos like my friends would make. I'd film them skateboarding and then us doing dumb stuff, and then I'd slap it all together.
I feel like this
and
also
make it into videos for us.
This also contributes to like your creative workspace type of mentality
Yes.
where like I do very well with structure. If you tell me ABCD, I will follow it. I'll find a way to excel at it, and that is what works for me. Whereas you're more like, oh, this setup works for me because no rules or whatever, you know what I mean? Like,
Oh yeah, I have my way of doing things, and that's the way I like to do
that's
things.
fine.
However you get to your end result.
Yeah.
Right?
Your end game.
I am Dr. Penis.
Dr. Penis didn't take the traditional path to
You don't
glory.
know that.
I do. He's Dr. Penis.
And then like whenever I'd hear stories about people that dropped out of high school or dropped out of college and then they were successful, I'm like, well, those are inspiring people. I want to be more like them.
Well, I mean, and I hope I don't sound hypocritical because I did drop out of college. But what I'm saying is that was like everything.
That just now occurred to
No,
you?
no, no. I'm like, I really hope that because but I think high school and college are different. You're different at age 14 than you are at 21. Like those are.
Listen, all I'm saying is I give a guy who didn't want anything to do with school props for not pretending to want to go to college
That's fine.
or spending the money, or he's not sitting on student debt.
I am, and I have a lot of it that's preventing me from doing a lot of things that I can't.
I'm down
you
to my
know?
last $8,000, and I've been out of college for 35 years practically. I don't even remember when I came out of college.
Yeah, so all that stuff was just not it didn't appeal to me, and it led me to what I did want to do, which was be a comedian.
Yeah, and you're killing it.
And then
Let me ask
as soon
you
as I
this.
got into that, like there was no like I sacrificed so many friendships and like relationships
Oh, yeah.
with people because every single night, like from the night I started doing stand up, I was either at a club watching comedy or writing or going to perform, just like every day.
Taking in as much as you could.
It consumed me till this very day.
He would have to have somebody write down his material and then say it to him,
Yeah.
so he could remember his
You know what,
his
though?
hunks.
You know, actually,
because
what
he
I would
couldn't
do-
write it down in like a moleskin journal because he hates paper.
I do. Back then, I was a little more okay with it because that's how. But I had a little voice recorder, and I would say my jokes into that, listen to them back, and that's how I would memorize my material back then.
You know what is funny when you
And
say
you get
that?
your cadence and everything too when you listen to it like that.
Yep.
When I was talking about that audition, I was having a lot of trouble memorizing the lines, like reading them. So what I did is I started to write them over and over again, and that helped. And then I recorded myself saying it and listened back to it, and realized like, oh, this is also how I learn. Like, how I memorize, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's necessarily learning. I couldn't say those lines to you right now, but
Right.
it just sinks in, and I think it came from like listening to comedy albums. Like Dane Cook, I got his first album when I was like 13, I think, and I listened to that on repeat until I could say every word to it. I probably could say every word to it right now.
What's with your mall?
Please don't.
Yeah. Why? Comedic genius Dane Cook?
Listen, I didn't mean for this to turn into a TED Talk. Just in here having some fun, all right?
Yeah.
How much effort are you going to put into the Godzilla challenge?
What's the Godzilla challenge?
There's an Eminem track on the new album called Godzilla, and Eminem can rap very quickly.
Yes.
So he does 224 words with 330 syllables in 31 seconds.
Whoa.
He does 10 syllables a second.
You can't put this
You know
on
who
the
could
air,
do
can
this?
you?
I don't know how you remember this live. I've cleaned it up.
Okay.
Miles could do this.
Yeah.
Fill him with the venom and eliminate him. Other words, I'm intimate him. I don't want to hurt him, but I did him in a fit of rage. I'm murdering again. Nobody will evade him. Finna kill him and everybody's in it like obliterating. Everything is generated. Renegade him. Hit him. Make anybody who want it with the pin and frame it. Don't nobody want it, but they're gonna get it.
It sounds like just Poundcake talking.
I love it.
So I'm wondering
that
if maybe Poundcake, would you be able to do the Godzilla challenge from Eminem?
I'll try.
Okay.
Come in
There are
tomorrow,
people
I'll get
online.
ready.
The fun part is watching people do this online because some people nailed it. I don't
Be
know.
like
I mean,
Donnie from Wild Thornberries.
Yeah, right.
Anyway, I'm beginning to feel like I'm mentally ill. I'm a killer, be killed. I'm a killer, be the vanilla gorilla. You're bringing the killer within me out of me. You don't want to be the enemy of the demon who in me. I'll be an receiving enemy. What stupidity it'd be. Every bit of me's the epitome of a spitter when I'm in the vicinity. You better duck or you finna be dead the minute you run in.
I mean, again,
I love
it is
it.
what it is. It's middle of this song. There's 31 seconds where he goes through and does this, and he's,
It's fun.
he's doing Godzilla challenge on social media. Eminem is out there looking like me with
Dyed black
Dyed
beard.
black
stupid
yeah.
dyed beard, and he's trying to get people to get out there and have some fun.
It is fun.
Enemy 100% of you is a fifth of a percent of me. I'm about to finish you, bitch. I'm available. You want to battle? I'm available. I'm blowing up like an inflatable. I'm undebatable. I'm unavoidable. I'm unevadable. I'm on the toilet bowl. I got a trailer full of money.
Yeah, so
Got a
there he
trailer
is.
full of money. I got that part.
He's inflatable. He's unavoidable. He's on the toilet bowl. Hey, Mike.
Hey, how you doing, Alan?
Hey, what's going on, Mike?
Not much. I just wanted to real quick comment on how everybody has had a terrible time going to school, and Bill's 100% right. Also,
I'm getting an A.
You're getting an A because the people who can call in are at their jobs right now. That are like that.
But they also identify with where he's coming
I
from.
know.
Nobody's calling and going, I identify with Alan and Mary,
just want
who are
everybody to
psycho
know
type A, super organized a-holes.
That I'm getting a better grade right now than Mary.
I would out test you any day.
I wanted to say in Sweden, to like Bill's and I's point, I guess, you know, they let kids just play outside. I think it's Sweden. I read about this somewhere. And they just let them play outside. And they go, oh, hey, this kid likes bugs. You know, oh, hey, this kid likes climbing a tree. And then they go, like, you know, all right, well, this kid, let's teach him about bugs. Let's teach this kid about, you know, like trees.
Well, yeah, in Sweden, I mean, over here, it's called a Montessori school, and they charge you $8,000 a month to find out that your kid likes to play by themselves, you know?
Oh, that's
So
nice.
it's a different situation, but you don't sound
totally.
Swedish to me, Mike.
Said he read about it.
I'm from Mike from Parma.
Oh, hey, Mike.
Oh, Mike from Par. All right, thanks, pal.
But I don't think anybody's gonna. Well, maybe.
What?
Me and you. I was gonna say nobody's gonna argue that they liked school, but I think I only liked
did.
school because I was good at it.
And it's not cool to be us.
No.
It's not cool to be the people who followed the
I wasn't
rules
cool
and went
either,
through.
though.
No,
But I
but
was
everybody
cool.
likes a rebel. And I wasn't a rebel.
But I
I
wasn't
liked
like-
school. I wasn't, granted, when I became an adult, I became a nightmare.
What,
I'll
But
do what I want.
in
really-
school, yeah.
what really blew the teachers' minds, though, is that I was all rebellious and, like, not doing stuff, but I didn't drink or do drugs or have anything like that going on. So they're like, we don't get, like, that's usually, like, that's the burnouts that are
Yeah.
doing that kind of stuff. I was just not into it, and they
Yeah.
couldn't really wrap their head around it. So I'm hanging out with all the kids that were, like, burnouts and stuff like that because they lump us up into classes together, like jobs for Ohio graduates, where they're trying to get jobs at, like,
Yeah.
factories and stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, these aren't my people either.
Yeah. See, I was class clowning it and getting in trouble for distracting others while still doing well.
That was me.
Yeah.
That was absolutely me.
I've told that story where I got kicked out of my Spanish 2 class and they made me do all the Spanish 3 work and then I got the highest grade and they're like, well, you're in Spanish 3 now, I guess. Like, here you go.
Spanish dos, you mean, Mary?
Spanish
Please.
dos, I have
En
Español.
español.
Español dos.
Please.
Spanish
Lo
trace.
siento, lo
Escúchame.
siento.
Escúchame. All right, I got a break. Before we get out of here, another shot for you to live rent-free for a year. Doesn't matter if you graduated or not. You can be living downtown in a 2-bed, 2-bath suite at Terminal Tower Residences. Live rent-free for a year. That's a grand prize. I will qualify 3 of you after the break. And then your Cavs pregame, 6:30 and 7 o'clock tip-off downtown tonight against the 76ers here on MMS.
The Alan Cox Show on 100.7 WMMS. And everywhere you go.